Hi guys. So I already pulled a few cards for the messages and I'm already getting a few things. So I feel like for a lot of you guys currently, one of the things that I'm getting is whether you realize it or not, things are going to start being easier for you. I feel like whoever you guys are that's watching this video right now, you may have gone through a tremendous amount of setbacks for years, even months. Feels like a while that you guys could have had a lot of setbacks. One of the things that I'm getting is you guys could have struggled with receiving. You could have had a hard time receiving compliments. You could have had a hard time receiving gifts or receiving resources. Mostly because I don't think that whoever is watching, I don't think that you guys have really gotten a lot of helping hand by people. And maybe the people that have helped you in the past may have always expected something in return. And so you have developed a belief that if you were to allow somebody to help you, that you would have to pay them back in some way, or that you almost felt like you're indebted in some way. But what I'm getting is that for a lot of you guys, these have been thoughts that have been holding you back for such a long time. And I feel that your guys are starting to come to the conclusion that you don't have to have those kind of beliefs. Mostly because for a lot of you guys, you've reached a point in time where it's like maybe in the past you could have dealt with people that were always like that were always expecting something of you. And that could have been such a huge disappointment for you, mostly because most of the time you're a kind, loving person and you never expected anything back in return from other people, but you may have felt like other people always expected that from you. And I feel like you guys are finally getting to the point where reality is starting to change, where all of a sudden the people that are coming into your life now, you could have let a lot of people go. You could have let a lot of friends, fake people around you go. And I feel like this has been something that has been hard for you to do. And I think the reason why this is because as you've been on this healing journey, as you've been on this journey for a while, it's almost like you don't realize how much you've alchemized things about yourself. So maybe you have let go of limiting beliefs about yourself. Maybe you let go of parts of yourself that were fake. Because when we meet people, we initially put a mask on, and that's just how the way our society is ran. It's very common for people to pretend to like you and to pretend to care when they really don't, right? And all of these little human interactions that we've had with people over the years, we may have suppressed parts of ourselves in order to fit in or in order to not feel so negative about ourselves. But what I'm getting here is that this person is starting to find it's like you're finding yourself. You're finding yourself by letting certain people go. You're finding yourself by letting parts of yourself go. And because of that, it is starting to become a little easier each day, each year, each month to kind of receive more. Maybe you felt like you weren't worthy of receiving help, or you weren't worthy of receiving money, or you weren't worthy of something. And I feel like for a lot of you guys, maybe you had a hard time expressing yourself because of a lot of people that would judge you, or a lot of people could have looked at you and said, oh, well, that's not right, or, your opinion doesn't matter. Or it's like there's just something about the way that your life has been set up. It felt very challenging. It felt like it was very difficult to go through. But what I'm getting here is that now there's this undercurrent. There is something in the background. It's like you changed a part of your frequency, you changed a part of who you are, and it's like now all of a sudden things start coming easier for you, things start becoming clearer for you. It's like all of a sudden there are going to be people around you that are just going to be nice to you, and they're just going to be nice to you for no other reason but just to be nice to you. There's people that are going to give you free stuff for no other reason just because I want to give it to you. And it's like you are starting to slightly get the taste of the good life, and if you haven't, it's like things are going to start working out to where it's going to be that way. So it's almost like little things are changing, little things are moving around for you, and it's going to make things a lot easier. I feel like for a lot of you guys, your thoughts and your beliefs is what's kind of shaping the way of how you view connections. This is what I see changing for you. So see, you guys may have felt stuck in something, but that is what's being released. You are no longer going to be held up by something or some kind of and this feels like a misconception about you and other people. Because I feel like you could have been around the wrong types of people, or you could have been around the wrong type of environment that it wasn't meant for you, but you were trying to make it work. You were trying to make it work so bad, but it just, these people were not meant to be in your life, or they just were not, they were meant for a season, not for a lifetime. I feel that you guys are releasing these burdens because when you let certain people go, and for some of you guys, maybe you could have had to get a divorce, or maybe you had to cut ties from a job, or maybe you had to, get rid of your lease and end it short. Maybe you had to get rid of a contract that just wasn't serving you anymore. There's something that you're letting go of. And what I'm seeing is this is something that you've contemplated for a while. This is not something that you're just jumping into because there was no thoughts or plans put aside. No, you took the time to plan this out. You took the time to consider this. You took the time to reevaluate. See, things are going to be happier for you. And it's just because what was once in the dark, I think that's actually kind of interesting that we have the symbolism here with the sun in the upright and the moon in the reverse. It's like whatever was once hidden from you, it's like it's no longer a thing. You have started to heal because it was like something that you weren't healing from, right? There was something that was keeping you stuck. It's like you've worked on it. Maybe you knew that there was an issue that you were experiencing, and it was like this some kind of conflict. And I feel like you just no longer fed into it. Maybe you were around somebody who always wanted to take that energy from you. This person could have always been nagging you or making you feel bad for the way you talked, or made you feel bad for the way you dressed, or made you feel bad for the way you were doing something. And it was like, this was not, that's not how life is. That's not how partnership is. And you came to a conclusion about somebody or something. And I feel like for a lot of you guys, this could have, it was like maybe you held on for something for so long that it hurt. And you realized that maybe you were loyal to the wrong things, or maybe you realized you were loyal to situations, people, circumstances that were not loyal to you. And even though this could have stung, and even though you could have just, it was like you held on for so long that you're realizing that it was just stagnating you. It was just not doing something good for you. And you no longer allowed yourself to stay in that rest mode. You were like, I'm up, I'm out, I'm done. Maybe for a lot of you guys too, is you were healing something that was not working out. This was something maybe you were hoping would work out. This was something you were hoping that would make you feel good, but it just didn't. And I feel like for some of you guys, this was you breaking up with someone, or this was you letting go of a job, or letting go of something that was holding you back. And it was holding you back in so many ways that it was almost like, why am I doing this anymore? I'm not happy where I am. I'm not getting anywhere in life with this person, or with this individual, or with this job. It's almost like, your partner is probably one of the most important decisions you'll ever make in your life. And what I'm getting is, before you left this situation, you mentally, emotionally, and physically, and even spiritually came to that acceptance before walking away. This was like, again, this is not a rash decision. This was something that you have contemplated for a while. I'm just getting for some of you guys, like, let's say if this was a partner, you could have been with this person for a really long time. You may have even had kids with this person, or maybe you just were with someone for a really long time. So this feels really weird to walk away from somebody that you've been with for like 5, 10 plus years, but you're realizing that the whole time that you were with this person, there was more downs than there was ups. This person was more critical than they were loving. It was like whatever this was not feeding your soul. It was not giving back to you the appropriate amount of what you were giving. So maybe there's something about this person not giving you enough. It was almost like you're not comfortable with receiving because you were around somebody that made you feel guilty for receiving. Maybe you would ask like, hey, could we go out and do something? Or hey, I'd like to spend more time with you. And this person would act like you were asking the world of them when really you were just asking for crumbs. And it was like, that's kind of what you dealt with, I think, for a majority of your life, to where this is now starting to fade away. This is now no longer going to be a part of your future. So it's almost like the universe could have even tested you to see if you would come back to somebody, to see if you would try to move forward. And I think that was kind of the case, because I felt like this was being a test. Like, okay, this is not a wish fulfillment, but we're going to have this person come back, or we're going to have a person like the same energy but in a different body, right? The same person but in a different body. Are you going to fall for that same energy again? And I feel like you guys said, no, I'm not going to invest in that. No, I'm not going to accept that. And because you did that, you're going to be receiving something brand new. There's something coming in that's better for you, because you're not entertaining the same thing you once did. So now what I'm getting here is all of this hard work, all of this dedication that you put into bettering yourself, that you put into releasing, that you no longer are allowing certain energies or certain people into your life. It's like people that now see you are going to come in and they're going to give to you. Now, here's the big test. Can you receive it? Can you trust yourself to knowing that you are no longer tolerating the same poor behavior, but can you accept help from other people? Can you accept being receptive to what other people are giving you? Because I feel like, again, you've been around people that could have guilt tripped you, made you feel bad for asking for something. It's like you could have been asking the bare minimum, and this person or these people were treating you like you were asking so much of them that, like, who are you to deserve that? Why do you think you deserve that? Like, I can't believe you're asking me for that. It's like different things. And I feel like for a lot of you guys, you no longer are willing to tolerate that. You just don't want to fight with people like that anymore. You're realizing that you're the freaking emperor, and that this whole time you were accepting less than what you deserve. This whole time you were tolerating poor judgment and poor behavior. And it's like you just no longer accept that. You're just like, I'm done with that. And I feel like for a lot of you guys, this is what's ultimately going to change the trajectory of your life. You're not on that same path. And maybe you could have been around people, that were like trying to stagnate you. People that were it's like these people were like poking holes in your boat and expecting you to keep floating on, and then get mad at you for not being able to handle the amount of like trauma or the amount of bull crap this person was giving you. And it's like, you just realized that you didn't need to tolerate that. Once you realized that, it was almost like you ripped out from under this person the ability to cause towers in your life anymore. It's like you just walked away and this person's like, so I have to clean up the mess that I made? What? It was like this person could not fathom. This person took you for granted. This person expected you to always be picking up the pieces. This person expected you to always be the one to deal with the consequences of their actions, of their behavior. And you're now just tending to your own garden. You're focused on your own savings. You're focused on bettering your life. You're focused on what you have as resources. And it's almost like you're not willing to share with this person. You maybe was once an overgiver, and now you're dialing it back a bit. Now you're taking that time and you're reevaluating everything you have, and you're like, I'm not just going to give you everything you've been expecting. Like, you didn't work for this. You don't deserve this. And it's like now this person is like baffled that you changed, but for the better. But to them, they're like, wow, you really changed. And it's like, no, you just realize that giving and having this with this person, it was like you realized that this person from your past, or these people that you were, loving and caring towards, you just realized that there was no victory with this person. You realized there was no winning with this person. You could have had the same argument like 1,000 times and it was the same argument, but it never got resolved. You could have brought it up like, hey, I hate it when you do this. And this person would just do this whole thing where they end up turning it around, and now it's an argument about what you did last week or what you did that one time. Remember 5 years ago? And you're like, what the hell? That has nothing to do with what I'm telling you currently. Why are you bringing up something that happened 5 years ago that has nothing to do with what I'm asking of you to not do now? And it was like you realized that this foundation that you thought that you could have with this person was not going to happen. It was like this person painted an illusion about what this relationship was going to be. And this person, they sat there and they were acting like they were going to do the work, that this was going to be abundant. They were treating it like this was something like something that was great, but you realize it was going nowhere. It was like this person wanted you to see, it was like this person put up a front, like, oh, honey, I will do that. Oh, honey, we're going to do this one day. And it's like, no, you're like, I don't want to do it one day. I want to do it now. And you realize that this person was toxic. You realize that the connection or the people that you were chained to was toxic. And now you're moving forward. You're like, I'm out. I'm not dealing with this. I'm not putting up with this. You gained a sense of respect for yourself. You gained a sense of understanding who you are, and you no longer tolerated what these people were giving you. You no longer saw what they had to offer you as valuable. You no longer started to fall for their trickery or fall for this illusion that this person was giving you. This person was, it's like the veil is being lifted, right? The reason the veil is being lifted is because you realize this person was combative. You realize this person loved to argue more than they did to solve the situation. You were dealing with somebody who would rather argue and fight with you than to actually find the solution to the problem itself. And instead, this person would rather sit there and talk circles around you and pretend that they were this way or that way. And it was like, it's almost like this person got the mask ripped off of them and you saw them for who they were. And you realized that this path that you were going down was not the right path. And so you looked elsewhere. You decided to turn your gaze somewhere else. You decided that you were going to take the resources that you had and you were going to go somewhere else with them. You realized that you were not being appreciated where you were. You were not being loved for who you are. And again, it's like you took back your power. You took back your power and now you're the emperor. Now you're standing tall. And it's like this person is in complete and utter shock that you no longer tolerate what this person was giving you. And because you no longer tolerate what this person was giving you, it was like you are now on your way to much bigger and better things. I feel like if this was a partnership, I feel like you're going to find somebody now who's going to see you for your worth and is going to see you for who you are, because you refuse to settle with somebody who's not going to be giving you what you deserve. You refuse to settle for somebody that does not show you an ounce of kindness or does not give you what you deserve. It's like you're realizing that you deserve better than what this person was giving you. It's like you had a discovery, right? You discovered something about this person. You discovered something about yourself. It's like you realizing that this is a completion. Like, I feel like you guys are ending this. You're putting an end to the situation. And it's because you realize there was no expansion with this person. You realize that this was not going to go anywhere. This person was wearing a facade. This person, it's like an instinct deep down inside you knew this person wasn't right. But you fell for the facade for a minute. And all of a sudden it was like it got ripped out from, like the veil got ripped out from under you. And you saw this person for truly what they were. And you gained wisdom from this experience. You may have beaten yourself up for allowing this type of person into your life, but you're not realizing the blessing that this was because you dealt with this kind of because you dealt with this kind of person, you no longer are going to tolerate that. You now see the red flags, you see the red signs. You no longer are going to allow somebody like this again into your life. And because of that, it's like this has become something that is so much more positive in the long run. It's like, again, this person was wearing a false mask, they were a false person, and you saw through this person's facade. And because of that, this person's now upset because they can't take advantage of you anymore. And they feel like, it's almost like this person maybe tries to still blame you for the relationship falling apart, but everybody around them knows that this person didn't treat you well. Everybody around you knows that this person was up to no good. And a lot of people actually are siding with you, whether they say it or not, because I feel like for this collective and whoever is listening, you guys dodged a major bullet, and it's time for you to love yourself. It's time for you to nurture yourself, and it's time for you to truly receive something that you deserved, because you deserve to be loved. You deserve to be cared for this entire time. And it just took a minute for you to realize it's like you bumped your head and got amnesia and you forgot how awesome you were. And now you're starting to remember that you are the freaking emperor, and you're starting to put yourself in a better position because you're realizing that you deserve so much more. And so now you're not going to tolerate the disrespect that this person gave you, and you're no longer going to be tolerating that from other people as well. And there's an energy shift that changed with you, and it's like the hard times that you dealt with, you're not going to go through that again. It's like now it's the time for you to receive. Now it's the time for you to start reaping the rewards and start actually, I feel like you guys have no idea, just you changing this one thing about yourself. It's like maybe you changed or tweaked a people-pleasing behavior. Just you doing that has already set a different tone for your life, has already started to change your life drastically. Like, you have no idea how much you have changed parts of yourself. You have no idea how much you are moving forward in your life, that this is actually a big stepping stone for you, and that you are no longer going to be tolerating such bad behavior, and you're no longer going to be tolerating behavior from somebody like this anymore. So because of that, now things are going to start coming in that's going to be better for you. You were once mistreated. Now you're going to have somebody that comes in and they're going to see you as a star. They're going to see you as somebody worth investing in. Maybe you had a hard time accepting compliments. Well, now you're going to have a partner that's going to come in and they're going to give you a lot of compliments. This might be uncomfortable for you at the beginning, but it's only because you're so used to the opposite that it's going to take time for your nervous system to acclimate to what is now not, because you were so familiar with the negative, and now it's like the positive's going to start coming in, and it's going to be patient with yourself, be patient with the people around you, because things are shifting in that direction. And eventually these compliments, eventually these gifts, these things that you're going to be receiving will eventually become second nature, and you won't feel so uncomfortable with the positive, because I feel like for a lot of you guys, you were so used to being mistreated that now being treated with respect, now being treated better is going to feel foreign to you. It's going to feel different. But I'm telling you right now that you deserve it, and to be kind to yourself, and to, give yourself a time every day to just breathe and realize that you are safer than you are now, than you used to be, and that things that are coming in for you, you truly deserve the best in life. And I feel like for a lot of you guys, you've actually closed out a major life lesson. You closed out some kind of people-pleasing tendency that is now repelling away certain people that all they want to do is argue, all they want to do is take. You're no longer attracting that type of person. And you might run into a few of them here and there, but I don't think that they want to attract, like, it's almost like they bounce off of you like rubber, right? It's like they might want to attach themselves to you, but then they find that it becomes uncomfortable for them to try to attach to someone like you, because you no longer have that people pleasing. They no longer can manipulate you the way that they could have in the past. So now these people, they might have a lot of negative things to say about you, and it's only because you're harder to manipulate, and it's only because you're harder to control. And people that are like that hate the fact that they lose control. They hate the fact that they can't manipulate you. So they're going to talk ill on you, or they're not going to respect you in the way that you deserve. And those people, I feel like you're going to kind of keep at arm's length anyways, because you're realizing that you deserve to be around people that are loving, caring, and respectful, and that people that do not have kind things to say to you, or that are not showing you any true value in your life, you no longer need those people. And so I feel like for a lot of you guys have finally graduated from one phase of your life into a whole new phase. So be kind to yourself, give yourself some time to adjust, because I feel like you guys went through a lot, and transitioning from one phase to another kind of can be uncomfortable and might even be rocky at first. You might feel like you're losing a lot more than you're gaining. You might feel like things are not quite where they need to be. You might feel misplaced for a minute, but it's only because it's for your betterment. Things are just shifting onto the other side of the spectrum, and things are going to start being better for you guys. So pretty soon you guys are going to be tasting, if not already, the sweet life. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Have a great and wonderful day. I hope this reading resonates for you and helps you guys in some way. Have a good one, guys. Thank you. Bye.